Hi, welcome to Mom Life Today. Tracey here with Jill Savage of Hearts at Home. And how are you today?
I am great.
Okay, we're going to ask you a question. We keep getting questions at Mom Life Today about parents wanting their teenagers to turn out to be hard workers and diligent, and they want to have a good relationship with their teenagers, and they have these expectations and dreams for their children. And they're asking, how can I help them to get there? Because you know they're little now, and I want to know the ways that I should train them. So do you have any words of wisdom around what do you need to be doing when they're little so that the dreams and expectations you have turn out?
That is a really good question. Several years ago, I co-authored a book called Got Teens. And the book I really want to write someday is Raising Teenagers When They're Toddlers. That's what I want to write someday.
That's what it takes.
Because if you don't start until they're teenagers with the intentional parenting, you're really behind the eight ball.
Right.
You know, you got to really be intentional when they're younger. So I think especially for moms who are in those toddler years, you have to recognize that you are raising teenagers, even though right now they're 2, or they're 3. And I think this is so important for us. I think sometimes as moms, we really are very nearsighted when we need to be farsighted. We need to be thinking about what it is that we want to grow in them. And I can remember one morning when my 2-year-old was refusing to put his toys away. And this was a battle that I was tired, it was nap time, I was like, okay, I just want to let this go. And which I think is, you know, we all get there.
We all get there, yep.
Is this a hill worth dying on, you know? And sometimes it's not a hill worth dying on. We have to ask ourselves. And the way I usually decide that is, will this matter in 10 years? Will this matter in 10 years? So I asked myself that, Jill, will this matter in 10 years? And all of a sudden I went, you know what? It will. And it'll matter in 20 years. Because right now I have a child that is resisting authority. And someday, that same child, if we don't deal with this now, they're going to be arguing with their boss at their first job. And so that is the moment that you go, okay, this is a hill worth dying on, because I need to be farsighted about this, and this is a quality I want to build in my child, that he will respect authority, that he will be responsible about picking up his toys. And that is the moment where we have to have vision for the future so that we know what to do for today.
I know, I picture, like, we have one that's 18 and one that's 15. And we figured out that once when the 18-year-old turned 16, and we handed her those car keys, you know, the way we parented when they were 2 suddenly really matters. Because off they go out the door, and you start thinking, you know, speeding, accidents, I mean, all of these things. And amen to you, that if you didn't start at 2, why is she going to obey all those things you didn't teach her?
Right. And so it is so important for us to have that vision, to be able to see it for the long haul. And you know what? Even if you haven't taught your kids when they were younger, let's say you realize that in the teen years, you can still use that. And I always encourage parents, if they get to the teen years and they've got an irresponsible teen, it is time to even apologize. I'm sorry that I allowed you to get away with disrespecting authority. And you know, to start where you are, own it, and then say, but I want you to know that from here on out, we're going to work on this because it's important for you. This is a life skill you need, and it's my job and my responsibility to help you to have that life skill before you leave our home.
Well, moms, be encouraged either way. If you have toddlers, parent with the end in mind. If you have teens and there are areas you need to work on, then start working on them now. All right. Thanks for being with us on Mom Life Today, and we'll see you next week. Bye, ladies.